Well, we started with a dozen or 15, and that was 4 or 5 years ago, and now we have two types of chickens here, laying hens and meat chickens. The laying hens are in this area. The meat chickens will go in those pens over there. It's just that with the rain, they'll die easy if they get wet and cold. So I'm hoping it's going to warm up here Monday because it's been about a week or two overdue. Thankfully, I have the greenhouse that is allowed for a little bit of flexibility, but so there's a lot of different ways to do this if you look on YouTube, and this way that we've chosen is because, you know, like if you look at our house, the fact that there's a house there proves there's a builder, and you know, we believe that God made animals and everything around us for a reason and with a purpose. So the reason we're raising them like this is so that it will use what God gave them, their claws to scratch, their beaks to get worms and bugs, and birds are always constantly moving. So the reason we're doing it like this is to try to mimic that as best as possible. So just keep that in mind as we take about a 30-step walk around the tour. But the coop looks small for these 100 or so birds, but the idea is that they're supposed to live outside. They only go in the coop to sleep and lay an egg. And when they're in there sleeping, they prefer to be close together because it keeps them warm. And then they basically live outside. So that only works when it's not snowing, because they hate snow. So thankfully, we bought this greenhouse last year, and we had them in the greenhouse all winter, and they've come out about a month ago, and we had them right where our garden is after we took them out. And we just tilled that up. We're gonna plant sweet corn and stuff in there. And then I had them, and you can see I move them in strips. I just keep moving that about once a week. Or if it needs to be moved sooner, I'll move it sooner. But I've been waiting for the grass to grow. I don't want to put them on the grass too early because I don't want them to kill it, which they kind of killed this spot here, but it's just the way it goes. It's kind of not that great of grass right there anyway, but it'll come back.
What's that?
I moved them in here last night. The best time to move them is at night because they all go into roost, and then you just hook up to it and move it, and then they wake up and they're on nice grass. So one couple little things, if you can get these buckets, they're usually free and they're awesome. And you can spend a lot of money on this stuff at Tractor Supply, but I hopefully will give you a few little tips that I've learned. And the nice thing is you can put water on a four-wheeler or on a tractor, and then you can cover it and you can go and it didn't spill unless it falls off. But this is electric netting that goes around. The reason I have that is mainly to keep my dog out. And I like it because it keeps them where I want them. You know, I don't have a huge farm, so if they get out, the neighbors probably won't be as thrilled as we are to have them. But it helps me manage them too, so I can keep moving them along and have them where I want them. So yeah, they're not like technically free range because they can't go wherever they want, but I keep them in good spots so that they can. And yeah.
So how do you round them up?
They'll go in the coop every night. Every single night they go right back in the coop. That's the beautiful part about it. They're predictable like that. And that's why this wagon works, because they'll go in, then I can move them. No, this bucket is a feeder that I made, and you can see them. They're the same feeders that are out there. So for about probably $3, maybe less, you can make this outdoor feeder. You just take a, it's called a 90-degree street elbow. And this is online. You know, if you want, I can try to share a YouTube link to it on your emails. But you put the grain in here, and it's waterproof, and they can't scratch it out, most importantly, and waste it, because this is expensive grain. We feed non-GMO grain that we buy from Pennsylvania, and you don't want them wasting it. I mean, you can see there's some waste still on the ground from them, but those buckets are the same thing. And I fill those buckets once a day, so they're eating about 50 pounds of grain a day. All right, so the feeder was about $3. These things are about $5 on Amazon. They're called chicken nipples, and they just come up and peck them, and they get water. And you see there's a white hose under there? that goes right to one of these that's underneath. I kept this one out so that you could see it. Those are about $5. Yep. Well, so I have a 55-gallon drum inside the coop with a hose going to it. But I had 5-gallon buckets with a little hose going to this. The white ones are white leghorns. The light brown ones are red sex links. And these black ones are black and gold ones are black sex links. And the dark red ones are Rhode Island Reds. I have the white leghorns because I like having a few white eggs in each dozen. It makes it look good at the farmer's market. And then Rhode Island Reds are just good Rhode Island Reds. They lay a lot of eggs. The white ones, that's your commercial bird, like that you'll get all your grocery store eggs out of. And some people don't like to see the white eggs, but they're just as good. Look at them ranging. They weigh like half the weight as a regular hen. So what I found is there's a reason that we have farming like we have now. There's a reason there's long barns with a whole bunch of chickens in cages. It's because they're very controllable. You can make a lot of eggs and you can make a lot of eggs cheap. So I'm not gonna say that I want to get rid of all that, but I would like more people to go to this. But there's a place for that, I guess, because people want eggs and they want them cheap. We like pasture-raised eggs.
Okay.
Chickens that eat grass have a much more golden yolk than a regular egg. And I want them to eat bugs, and I want them to be in the fresh air. And I think this is how a chicken was meant to be here.